to the 30th edition. Actually, we just hit the 30 mark for Speakeasy Dwellers podcast. Actually, that's quite the achievement if you go by my standards. Is I your host, Jared? I actually have a guest right here. Do you want to say a couple words?
Hi, my name's Nate. I go to the same college as Jared, and I'm here, jazz hands.
Yeah, jazz hands, metaphorical jazz hands. So yeah, I'm recording this as of 11:46 p.m. It is the 21st of November, 2024, the year of our Lord. Are like Thanksgiving is like 1 week away. I
It
think,
really is.
and I think one of the weird things that I just like it was a revelation I had when I was coming back on the bus ride from the basketball game that we had today, and I was just thinking, I leave on Sunday to go to New York City
Oh,
for
yeah,
Macy's.
you're doing Macy's Day Parade. I forgot about that.
Yeah, like we're gonna be leaving on 6 a.m. on a Sunday.
Yeah, don't you guys get like a $500 allowance?
I mean, it's something like that. I don't know how much money they're actually giving us per day, but it's
Some of
gotta
my
be
friends
something.
are in band.
It's gotta be something like that.
Yeah, some of my
Let
friends are in band, and I remember when they first found out, they were just like discussing how to save as much money as possible. I'm just like, God, you could just spend it and have a good time. And they're like, no, we have to save it. And I just thought it was really funny.
Yeah, I mean, I also have the exact same mentality, but I'm not like actively thinking about saving the money. I usually Most of the money that I have for my per diem goes into purchasing merchandise because
Mm.
I have this thing where whenever I go, this is actually a tradition I started, I think this was a tradition I started earlier this year, where I go over and I buy a hat from every single stadium I go to
Oh, that's
for the
cute.
colleges. So I got an Oklahoma hat, I have a hat from Alabama, I have a hat all the way from the University of Albany.
That's
I
pretty
also
cool,
have
honestly.
I also have a Vanderbilt cap as well. So I just have a collection of hats that I wear day in, day out. But what actually ended up inspiring that was before that, on every single away game I would go to, I would purchase a souvenir cup of the stadium. So I never had to
Mm.
purchase cups because I always had all the souvenir cups that I just had. So that's what the majority of my covered space is taken up. Is just taking up my souvenir cups from all these different places.
That's hilarious. I need more cups, honestly. Doesn't our college also like provide like little towels for the game? I know they do that for here home games. Do they do that for away games as well?
No. They
Yeah, I
sometimes
don't
do
think
it
so.
for basketball games. Like one time we were given towels for
Mm.
when I went over to Nashville for the men's SEC tournament my freshman year. They gave us towels, but they don't usually give us towels for away games. It's a bring your own towel type of deal.
That makes sense. Speaking of which, did we win that basketball game tonight?
Yes, we did win. It was
Nice.
against Mercer. I think we won 80 something, like 70.
Damn. 80. 70 to 80 points, or like over
Yes.
them, or just total?
Yeah, over them. Yeah, we won. It was like we had like 80 something odd points. They had like 70.
Then, ah,
Uh,
gotcha. Nice, nice.
we actually were losing at one point,
No
which
worry.
was kind of scary. But I had faith in the Cox. I always had faith in the Cox.
I keep forgetting that's our mascot. The college really is just a huge excuse to scream cocks constantly.
I'm telling you, the level of hump that my parents had to get over when they realized that our school was like our school's mascot were the Gamecocks,
And we
and
just
my
say
dad didn't know
cock
what a
on
Gamecock
everything.
was. What do you say?
And we just put cock on all our merchandise.
Yeah, they didn't realize that too. Like,
My
uh,
sibling wants a shirt that we have a shirt that we sell called or that says Saturdays is for the cocks. And my sibling really wants it even though they have no reputation with the school and it's just hilarious to me.
yeah. My mother was the only one in the family who knew what a Gamecock was. because
Mm.
she grew up in the Philippines, and that's like kind of
I
a
feel
big
like it's
deal
not
when it
that
comes
hard
to
of a
like.
concept to grasp.
No, it isn't. It's just,
It's
for
just
the
an extra
average,
angry chicken.
yeah, just for like the average American, I mean, you don't really see rooster fights on a daily basis, but if you go to places in Asia, that's a lot
Mm-hmm.
more commonplace. Uh, so
Yeah, I guess so.
she knew about that. She's like, oh yeah, it's just like a fighting rooster with little spurs, and they tried to challenge each other to slit each other's throats.
Is
Yeah,
that really how they fight each other?
yeah, that's basically what they try to do.
I'm
They
like,
kick up
dude,
their feet, which have little knives at the end, spurs, and they just try to cut each other's throats open. And whichever chicken's not dead at the end wins, and they bet
I'm
on
gonna
it.
look this up real quick.
Yeah,
Dude, I
it's
know
highly
that.
illegal. It's highly illegal.
Yeah, I know that animal fighting is illegal because like oh you shouldn't subject the animal to something he can't like have free will on, but at the same time I think it's so sick as a concept because it's just like could you imagine like MMA fighting Mike Tyson prime Mike Tyson gets in the ring with a gorilla
Hmm.
like
And they just have,
like I'm
it's just
pretty
like
sure
brass knuckles, but like it's like Wolverine
pretty much I'm
style.
pretty sure when he was younger he was like trying to bribe a zookeeper to let him fight one, which is really funny.
I don't think that would have gone over well.
I don't think it would either, but it's just like I just really like the concept of. I feel like liking something heavily illegal is not a good thing, but it's just like I think it's interesting to like think about fighting animals because like everybody, at least in my experience, most guys have like a single animal that is drastically out of their league or that they think they could beat. Like, you have one, for example.
I mean, I don't know if I really have an animal in particular that I think I would just, beat the crap out of.
Hmm.
Other than sometimes I feel like I can outrun a cheetah, even though I
Absolutely
know I
not,
can't.
dude.
Yeah, I know. So I guess if there's like one animal, that would probably be it. It would probably be I would beat the
I think
cheetah
mine's like a
in a
giraffe.
dash. Giraffe? Why a
Yeah.
giraffe out of all animals?
They look really strong, but I feel like they surely they can't be that balanced. Like I feel like I could just slightly move his legs and he would just tumble.
I mean, have you seen like baby giraffes? Like those
I
are,
have seen those, but that's also babies. Also, on the topic of baby animals, they learn so quickly compared to humans. Oh my goodness. Like
I mean,
I'm in
they also don't really have a lot going on in their heads as well. 'Cause, like,
I mean that's true.
since when was the last time a bear cub had to worry about taxes
True, but I
and
mean,
managing
like, for
finances?
example, walking, pretty sure that's like at least a year for most babies, yeah? They're crawling otherwise.
And
Giraffe, like a few hours out of the womb, and that thing's already walking.
I think one of the the weird things is that humans who develop faster than others actually
Hmm.
are not as what's the word I'm looking for? Um,
Physically capable?
no, it's more like mentally capable. Uh, Signs of like early development, like being able to talk really quickly and being able to walk very quickly, are signs of like Down syndrome and stuff of the
Really?
like. Yeah, that's what my mother was talking about. I hold on, let me let me fact check that
Yeah, please
before I
do,
say
because
anything.
I don't mean to be like the unactual guy, but I'm in my psychology development class right now. Psych 420, funny number, I know. But I have not heard any mention of that. And I feel like that'd be pretty large because, like, we're mostly just talking about, like, oh, this is like the range of when you learn something, not so much like the difference in learning something. Well, kind of, but at the same time, no.
If your baby talks and walks earlier than
I do
normal,
know that,
is
like,
that good?
children with Down syndrome, I'm pretty sure, like, hyper intelligent. I'm not exactly sure. Or can't have higher capacity for mental intelligence. I'm not sure if that's true, but I know in media it's heavily portrayed that way, and I think I've learned something in that regard. I'm not sure.
My my screen is starting to tick me off. Like
No.
my browser that I use to search everything
Mm.
has just been like it's just been like stuttering. Like it feels like both
Oh,
like all these
interesting.
screens are on like a different refresh rate. So whenever
I
I
mean,
try
I
to like
mean, I'm
move my
pretty sure
mouse
they
around,
are.
no, there I have no clue because I'll just be like moving my mouse around or changing tabs and there will be still like images from the previous tab over onto the new tab and it'll just have like
Oh,
just blocks and rectangles of it. Or whenever I'm like watching stuff on YouTube and I
I
put
think
that
it.
on into full screen, sometimes like it'll just start like stuttering, but
Mm,
the audio will be completely fine. And I
it might have
honestly
to do
don't
something with the
think it's a
monitor you're using.
I don't know if it's the monitor I'm using. I want to say it's the browser I'm using because I
What
just
are you
cl
using, like Opera or something?
I'm using Brave browser.
What? What is it called?
Brave?
Brave browser?
Yeah,
What? I've never even
Brave.
heard of that.
Brave browser, yeah. It's something I've been using for a long time. Yeah, I just closed out of all of it.
Really?
I shut it down and I just opened it
Hold on,
back
I
up
feel
and
like this
now
is a
the
whole different topic. You're using something called Brave instead of like
Brave.
Google Chrome, Firefox, Opera.
I mean it does the somewhat similar things. The Opera, it's an ad blocker.
W- Yeah, I mean, I just have a Chrome extension that does that. Granted, I think they're cracking down on that soon, so I may
They
have
have
to
not
swap
cracked
to a
down on
different
Brave
platform.
browser.
Yeah, I know. No, I mean like Google Chrome is cracking down
Oh,
on those
okay.
Chrome
Google Chrome's
extensions.
cracking down on it.
Yeah, because like every time I go into the menu or go into the store and I go to I use I think uBlock. Is that what I use? Yeah, uBlock Origin. It'll be like, hey, this is no longer going to be supported soon, so you should find an alternative. Or no, you should just not use it because it's against their terms of service. It's money. God, it is. Oof. Capitalism and advertisements are just wild these days.
Been there, done that.
Yeah.
Oh man. So yeah, I got no clue what's going on. I feel like it's mostly a browser issue that
Mm-hmm.
rather than a screen issue
That
because
could be, yeah.
I've already updated my video drivers several times. I made sure all my uh like my video cables are all secure. Like it again, it's only the browser that's the issue. Like games don't
That's
have any
weird. Like,
problems, Discord doesn't have any
have
problems.
you opened like
It's
media and different applications before? Like video
I have
media?
no clue. I haven't really like troubleshooted it, but it's
Mm.
only happened when I'm in this browser. So it
Do
hasn't
you?
really happened, but I also
Mm.
really don't go outside of this browser. This is like my main browser that I use, my default browser. So I don't use Chrome enough to kind of figure out, hey, if I'm having issues here but not having issues in Chrome, you know,
Yeah.
what's a what?
I don't. Chrome's having issues with me sometimes. I don't know. Just recently though, it'll like randomly swap to using like Yahoo or something else as my default browser, which is not that hard to swap. Reverse the issue. But it's just like I don't know what it's being caused by because it's not like I have Chrome a lot of Chrome extensions. I have one, and that's uBlock Origin, which is just my ad block,
Let's
and
see, how many
it's
tabs
just
do I
kind of
have
annoying.
open? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18,
Bro, that's a
19,
lot of
20,
tabs.
21, 22.
More than 20. My
More than 20 tabs, yes.
dude, close
But
with
like,
that.
it's
Chrome
not,
has this low. Okay,
like,
do they have like a
how's that
grouping
gonna cause
function?
any issues? How's that gonna cause any issues?
It depends on the browser, but like it basically has all the sites loaded, and depending on how loaded they are, they may also be like loading the I don't want to say ads because you're using an ad blocker for your thing, but uh, I'm trying to think.
It does take up
I'm
the
not
most
sure,
memory
but it's
on
just
my
like
computer right now.
I mean that's also just most browsers because it's a lot of individual data it has to load.
Right, yeah.
Um,
But I mean,
but
I got 32 gigs of RAM in here, so I am swimming. in memory.
Yeah. I'm not sure what that could be caused by then, because what I was trying to say is that when it's the sites are all loaded, like a lot, maybe the videos on those sites are playing, like especially from ads, because a lot of those are like videos. But at the same time, you said that the big thing about Brave is that it's an ad blocker, so I don't necessarily think that would be the issue. But again, I'm not that knowledgeable on the subject.
Yeah, since I got this browser back in, let's see, how long? I don't know how long ago I ended up installing this for the first time. But since then,
Mm-hmm.
it has saved me 6.3 hours,
According
uh,
to its own thing.
according to its own thing, 6.63
Mm.
gigabytes of bandwidth,
I
and
don't know where my trust goes.
452,343 trackers and ads blocked.
No disrespect, but if the product is telling me how good the product is, I don't really accept it. Because, that reminds me of, have you seen those, virus detect protectors on, computers and stuff?
I know what you're talking
Those
about, yeah.
basically become viruses
Like
themselves.
the Norton safety things that they
Yeah.
force everybody
Oh
to
my gosh. When
install.
I
Like,
first
oh,
got my
we stopped
computer,
the
yeah,
or
when I first got my computer, my mom was trying really hard to install, McCaffrey, I think, which is a virus protector thing. And I was like, no, I'll do it later. 'Cause she was adamant that I install. I'm like, no, I'll do it later. No, please, you really don't have to. No, it's really no big deal. Never installed that. Absolutely not. I'm not ruining this computer with that. Absolutely not. But yeah, it's just like a lot of things are just very aggressive with their marketing, especially about how useful these things are. Oh, you can't get rid of us. We've saved you billions of dollars. Just trust us. You know? Granted, I'm not trying to say that Brave hasn't done that, but at the same time, I just wouldn't exactly. I would take that with a grain of salt, I guess.
yeah, I have no like comparison. I mean, I hear all this praise about Opera GX.
I've heard great things
Um,
about it too, and I've watched a few, I think, Twitch streamers who use it, and it looks very similar to Chrome, but at the same time, I just have a lot of stuff based in Chrome, which is why I'm so worried about swapping.
yeah, I mean, the thing is about popular browsers like that, because I thought this was a popular browser, because this is the one that my brother
Brave.
always used. Um,
Uh-huh.
like I feel like since YouTube is cracking down on ad blockers on
Mm-hmm.
all platforms, I'm pretty sure they're already starting to crack down on Opera GX users,
It's
right?
just Google in general, but I'm not sure if they are. I haven't heard anything regarding that, but I could
Mm.
always be wrong.
I just
Or
feel
just
like
don't think.
popular brands that are
Mm-hmm.
more well known will end up being hit first because, well, the more well
Yeah, that's
known you
valid.
are, the more people use it. You're able to, kill two birds with one stone type ish right there.
Yeah. Uh, I'm not sure.
Who is texting me at
I'm not
12?
sure. Speaking of which, what is this timing, man? Were you that busy and you had no other availability?
Ah, I
I'm
mean,
not trying to be
kind of.
rude.
I also
That's
liked having the break, uh,
no, that's valid.
because
Absolutely.
have I showed you my schedule, like my actual schedule?
No, not
So
like a physical
let me
version of
run
it. But
through my schedule with you.
uh
So
huh.
on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I start out my day starting at noon, where I host my U101 class, and then
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
I don't get back until around 7,
Mm-hmm.
8 o'clock then at
Oh
night.
damn, that's pretty late.
So I stay on campus the entire time because I also SI and then I also have marching band on top of it. Doesn't really make sense to make the 17-minute walk home
Yeah,
when
absolutely.
I can just stay on campus. And then Tuesdays, I have um, so on Tuesdays I leave my place around like 9:30 and I don't get back until like 9 o'clock. Not
Mm-hmm.
even sometimes because I also have SI sessions on Tuesday. So I actually don't get back until like 10 o'clock.
Oh damn, that's pretty late.
So basically spending about 12 hours outside my dorm. And then on Thursday, it's the exact same situation, but instead of leaving my place at 9:30, I leave my place at 8. So yeah,
Hmm.
the first time I got back in my dorm was about 10 o'clock today, and I left it at like
Damn,
8. So
it's quite late.
that's how uh that's how I've been living life for this entire semester.
Jeez,
Just been
man.
doing that.
I've honestly, I know I'm a sophomore, but senioritis is getting to me, man. I'm just skipping all my classes. Like, I don't really need to go to this. I'm just like, it has not been. I think I'm doing well in all my classes. I'm pretty sure, and I'm like on my school, actually, semi on the work, but it's just like, uh, I'm just worried about stuff in general.
Well, as long as you're
Yeah,
like doing well in the class, I feel like people can skip as much as they want. Do
yeah,
what they want to do with their
I feel
money.
that as well.
Like
But also like I have this thing where it's just like I looking at my schoolwork, I'm not seeing anything I'm missing, but I get the feeling that I'm missing something, you know?
I
Like
get that
nothing's
I get
actually
that exact
missing,
same
but it's just
feeling.
like,
Oh, I thought you were going to continue with something.
oh, I'm sorry, I spaced out.
No,
Um,
I got the exact same feeling whenever one of my professors doesn't assign a homework. I'm
mhm,
just like, I feel like I'm missing something. I don't quite know what it is I'm missing, but I
yeah.
know I'm just missing something right now.
That
And I'm
actually
like, oh
loops
right, it's
back
because there's like
into
just an absolute void in my schedule that
yeah.
I don't know what to do with.
That actually loops back into a psychological theory about how people who are more informed about a subject are more likely to accurately estimate how much they know about said subject. So like an example of that would be like um, let's say that there's someone who's not really knowledgeable about the law, but he's had like to deal with a lot of um, what's the word I'm trying to say? He's had to deal with like a lot of criminal cases and stuff maybe in his life. Like he's like been surrounded by like a lot of criminals, so he thinks he's very knowledgeable about it, even to the point of saying that he could pass the bar exam to get into law school. Now, his assessment's inaccurate, but he feels that way because he has not experienced or he is not knowledgeable enough to know what he doesn't know. Does that make sense?
Interesting. So it's like the opposite of like the more you know, the more you realize you don't know.
Yeah, pretty much. Like you have
Inter
more confidence in it because you know so little. Like,
Interesting.
for example, from the field of psychology, since I'm like at the beginning of it, I've learned how much there is to know, but I've also learned how little I know in comparison. But let's say that someone was like watches like a lot of TV shows where the main character like psychologically analyzes everything. They're like, oh yeah, I'm pretty knowledgeable on the subject. They may not actually be, but they feel that way because of said reasoning.
It's like when you got all those like girls who are in public health and they're like, "Oh yeah, I know so much about public health." "Oh, what do you mean I watched Grey's Anatomy? That's my favorite show." I am
Exactly. How'd you
telling
know
you
that,
the
man?
relationship between people who swear they know about medical stuff and
On
people
Grey's
who
Anatomy.
watch Grey's Anatomy is actually so funny.
Funny
But
thing, I have a friend who's in nursing school, and she actually, yeah, she does watch Grey's Anatomy. It's really funny because she's learning how inaccurate it is, but also still learning how much she likes it. I just think it's a funny concept or a funny juxtaposition.
it's like one of my cousins, I believe she passed the bar exam or is planning on taking the bar exam very soon. And she loves making fun of what's Suits, the
Oh
Netflix
yeah,
show, the
I've seen
lawyer
a lot of
stuff.
clips of it. Big fan of it.
Yeah, and my uncle likes to give her a hard time about it
That's
because
funny.
he's like an avid watcher of it, so he thinks he knows a lot about
Oh
like the
yeah.
law and everything and how trials work and how being a lawyer is, as if his daughter has not gone to school for the past 6 years.
Yeah, I think honestly, realizing I feel like that might be, you know how like on Facebook there'll be or like just Twitter in general, there'll be a lot of people being like just like trying to argue with people who have like a PhD in the field that they're talking about. and they're just like, you need to get your facts straight.
Yeah, I
And
once
it's
had
just,
a guy arguing with like a physicist about like quantum theory, and I'm just like, why would you be arguing with a physicist with a PhD about a
yeah,
subject that you just the average American just would not have any relationship to?
yeah, I honestly get that. It's just, I think people just learn a little bit and then get just an unbridled sense of confidence.
I think I'm actually going through something like that. So
Oh, that's up.
my dad has been trying to get me and my brother to start investing in
Oh,
the
like
stock.
financially?
Yeah,
Yeah,
financially. Just getting us more finance savvy. He's been
that's good.
encouraging us to open credit cards, be able to like look for loans, look for scholarships, look for
Hmm.
jobs in order to help, help manage our finances. And one of those things is getting a retirement account, an
Yeah.
IRA. And I pushed it off for a bit because I'm like, okay, retirement, that's not going to happen for another 40 years. So why would I need a plan for that? But then I ended up watching a video. Oh, actually, no, it was actually my University 101 professor who was
Oh.
co-teaching the class because the last week's material was all about finances, and
Hmm.
she started talking about stocks and investing. And I'm just like, wait, I should probably start doing this now.
I should
I
probably
feel
listen to the
like,
teacher real quick.
yeah, exactly. The teacher became the teachee. Well, I'm still a student at the university, but it was interesting how that class kind of ushered me in a certain direction that I never thought I'd be
Yeah.
ushered in. Um, so I ended up doing some research and ended up getting myself a Roth IRA. Are you
Nice.
familiar? You're
I
familiar with the Roth IRA?
relatively.
So basically, it's a tax advantage broker account where you can invest, you can contribute a certain amount of money per tax year,
Hmm.
and all that money that you put in will be taxed, but any gains you make on the account will not be taxed. And
Oh,
when you
nice.
retire at the age of 59 and a half,
Hmm.
any money that you take out of that account will be tax free, but you
Oh,
have to wait
nice.
until you're 59 and a half. I
Gotcha.
don't know why the half
Why
is
a hat?
important. Yeah, I don't know why the half is
Oh,
important. All I know
sounds
is
like
the
a little
number.
kid being like, "Oh, I'm 9 and a half." All right, don't forget
Yeah,
that
it
half.
feels like, yeah,
Very
exactly. It
important.
feels like I'm 2 years old. I'm like, actually, I'm this many and 3/4. I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, kid, you are 2 years old.
I feel like I should probably get some financial something going on because I don't really have a whole lot going on financially. And
So, yeah. So I've
oh,
been doing a lot of research on finances, investing, stock market, and
hmm,
everything. And some guy was talking to me earlier today. He's like, because he was also thinking of opening up an IRA. And I was talking to him
yeah,
about it. I mean, I just started learning about this shit like a week ago. And I'm out here
hmm,
talking like I'm just the financial expert. So I definitely see how that kind of mentality is kind of gone into my life where I feel like I know what I'm talking about. I mean, I know kind of what I'm talking about. I have the recommendations, what everybody has told me, and then
that's
I
why whenever you're giving
regurgitate that
advice
information
about
elsewhere.
something, you just gotta sprinkle in some. I don't know though, you know. That way, it's just like, oh, well, like you should do this, but I don't know. Winky
Yeah.
face, you know.
It's also really nice because my brother opened up a brokerage account before I did. So
Hmm.
he's been investing in for a while now. A while being maybe a couple months earlier than I have.
Yeah,
And the thing is, he currently does not have a job. So the money
unfortunate.
that he's contributing to it is through loans and scholarships.
Oh, that sounds worrisome.
So it's not as bad because he's not contributing a lot. He's probably contributing like $10 a month,
Okay.
which is nothing.
Yeah.
But since I do actually generate an income because I work with the Student
Hmm.
Success Center, uh,
Yeah.
my dad is okay with me contributing a bit more. He wants me to ideally contribute the max limit, which is currently $7,000 a year. that you can
That's
contribute
not
to
bad.
your Roth IRA,
Thank
which is usually split up into monthly payments. So that number comes to be around like 584 bucks that you can
you.
contribute every tax year. So he wants me to get to that, but since I'm not at a point where I am financially stable enough,
Comfortable.
I'm not working
Okay.
enough hours to be able to do that. And so I was like, hey, what if I just do like 100 bucks? And he's like, yeah, we can do 100 bucks. It's not ideal, but 100 bucks is better than nothing. So now
Mm-hmm.
I got a reoccurring payment of 100 bucks going in
Yeah.
every month, which is nice. Should be able to
It's one
put me
thousand two
aside.
hundred per month. Nice.
Yeah,
I'm
I get like a bi-weekly paycheck of like 330. So it knocks itself up quite nicely.
okay. I'm I'm honestly just not too sure. Cause like so I have the scholarship from the government, which does a lot of things. But then I also have uh, no job income, but I also have like just scholarships that I get because the government scholarship pays for everything. So I get the college scholarships reimbursed to me.
Ah, that's nice.
And I'm at the point where I have a decent size of money. I just don't exactly know what to do with it.
I mean, worst comes to
But
worst, you can always put it into a savings account.
yeah, that's what I'm basically doing with it. I've been doing that just for a while now.
I mean,
But it's just like,
particularly speaking, you want to get a high yield savings account.
ugh, I don't even know anymore because I've been looking at those and they're really not even beating inflation by much at all, if any.
Um, Especially with the new administration coming in. This is also why I'm kind of taking advantage over it
Hmm.
because there's a lot of history with Republican um, led governments and their like GDP contributions and how well the market has done. So I'm just like I want to get this done before the new administration comes in so I can kind of see I can ride that wave. I know it's terrible, but I mean I agree with
Hmm.
the current administration. Sorry, not the current administration, the upcoming administration. But
Not too
I
knowledgeable
can't
in finances
really say
myself.
no to the data, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That isn't to say like the market's just like terrible under the current administration. It's increased as it always has, but
Mm.
it just increases more under under other administrations. So it's like I just want to see if I can take advantage of that, especially when it comes to like
Gotcha.
inflation. But
Yeah, I'm
yeah,
just
so like
worried
high
about.
yield savings accounts is usually accounts that give you somewhere between like 4 to 6%,
Hmm.
like APY. So if you have something along those lines, that would be
I
like
think
a
I might
great
have an
place to put
eight
your
percent
money.
account. I'm not sure.
Yeah, well, what now?
8% account? I'm not sure. It was set up a while ago, so
If you have 8%, I want you to put every single dollar bill you have into that account.
no, it maxes out. It maxes out. There's
I
like
was
I
gonna
think
say 8% is a crazy number.
yeah. I don't
Are you
know if
sure
that was the
that's not
case.
like
I
certificate
could be wrong
deposits?
about them. I'm pretty sure it is certificates, yeah.
Hmm, okay, that would be it, yeah. Certificates of deposit,
Because
yeah.
I don't know. I'm just again. I'm just really not knowledgeable about the subject, which is just my own fault. I have a really bad habit of if it's not going to be necessary current, I just really don't pay attention to things that much, which is not healthy, and I need to stop doing that. But it's just kind of a habit I've formed.
I mean, it has its good qualities. It keeps you grounded, not too much
True.
future focused. So it does have its
But at the
perks,
same
but
time,
yeah.
we're in college. This is kind of when we should be focusing on our future. And I can't particularly say that it's been on my mind. I mean, it has been, but it hasn't been.
You know, I've been very finance savvy for the past 2 weeks.
Nice one.
So it started when I got my new credit card.
Mm.
because I've been uber conscious about how much I've been spending, and then on top of that, my credit score. I'm
Yeah,
so
I get
incredibly
that.
like conscious about it.
I have a debit
So,
card right now, which like, credit card just seems so not great in comparison to me because like a debit card you can only spend what you have, which makes sense. Um, but then with a credit card you can basically spend an infinite amount, and then after a certain time you have to pay it back.
uh-huh.
Which I understand the concept. It's just if credit score wasn't so important, I really wouldn't care. But it's just like the fact that it is kind
No,
of just
yeah,
terrible.
credit score is very important,
Yeah.
especially for when
Um.
it comes to future, like car loans, like
Oh,
if you want to buy a
absolutely. Yeah.
house.
I'm
Yeah,
probably gonna have to set up a credit card somewhere soon.
yeah.
Cause
I could
I
refer
mean,
you to the Discover student card, and we each get $100.
oh my gosh, might just do that, man. 300? Oh my gosh.
Um,
Oh, that's actually not terrible. Yeah, if you want to send that to me later.
yeah, sure, I'll send it over. One of
Granted,
my
I have
other
my
friends
own
also
bank,
has a
so
Discover card, and we
I'll
we
probably
all we
just like.
both like it.
Oh wait, now I just realized we have the week off tomorrow, which means I kind of just lied. I accidentally just lied to my mother and told her I only have like 2 days off.
Oh, that's not good.
Uh, I don't really want to go home though. Effort. I'll
I
figure it
mean,
out.
how far away, like driving?
It's only an hour and a half. It's really not that bad. I'm
Oh,
just
that's not
lazy.
bad.
And also, there's not a whole lot to do back in hometown. Don't really got friends there. Don't really got activities to do. It's very boring and bland, in my opinion.
Same boat
Granted, I
here.
feel
I
like
actually
when
feel
everybody
bad.
goes to, I feel like when everybody goes to college, they learn that their hometown sucks. But it's just like I don't know.
Unless you come from like a big city. Like if you came, it was like if you came from like Chicago or like New York City or you came from
Yeah,
like San Francisco, going back, it just isn't really the same.
yeah.
If you go to like
But at
some
the same
small town.
time, usually people go to contrasting locations for preference. Like I've noticed a lot of Northerners will go south for the nice hotter climate. Southerners, if they do change location, they'll usually go north for the different climate again. It's just like so like with people who are in smaller or in big cities and stuff, I feel like there's a chance they would just come to smaller cities for college because they want to experience something different. Granted, I'm not really that knowledgeable about it, so I can't really say.
I mean, my reasons for coming down here was mostly because the computer algorithm told me. I wanted to be
But
up and down the East Coast
I just
because same
knew.
time zone and everything,
Mhm.
but
I just knew Clemson and Carolina were the two big ones, so I just applied to both, and I fully got into this one and did not. I got the Bridge 2 program, which is cool. I just don't care
hmm, I don't know what that
because
program
like
is.
it's basically like you go to like a smaller college. Like we have a Bridge 2 program here at Carolina, and I have few friends that are involved with it. But basically, you go to a different college. For example, here it's Midlands, but after like a year, if you perform well, you'll get transferred to USC. And
Is
I
this
think you
like
still live at USC housing, but it's just like you take classes at a different college technically.
is that Palmetto Gateway, whatever it's called?
It might be called that. I'm not sure. I've heard my friends describe it as Bridge 2. So
Bridge 2. I've heard a lot
yeah,
of like gateway stuff.
it
So
might be Gamecock. Oh, Gamecock Gateway. I think that's what it's
is it
called.
Gamecock Gateway? I
Yeah, I
don't know. I
think
thought it was
so.
Palmetto Gateway. Who knows?
Again, I'm just not that knowledgeable on the subject. I've heard it like through word of mouth from friends, but
I mean, that stuff really doesn't apply. So,
what do you
I
mean?
mean, I've been here for like 4 years, so I never really.
Oh yeah, you're not wrong.
I'm an out-of-state student.
Oh, are you? Where from?
I'm from New York.
Oh, really?
Yes, I
Surprised that
am a
hasn't come up
northerner.
before.
What?
I'm surprised that hasn't come up before. I don't remember hearing
I'm
that.
pretty sure it has come up. I feel like me being called a
I don't know.
Yankee has been like a very big topic in
Has
the
it?
old group chat. Yeah.
That's crazy.
Like that was one of like the biggest things was like, "Oh yeah, you're a northerner." And I'm like, yeah,
I do
yeah,
not
yeah,
recall this in the
whatever.
slightest.
Like when certain
It's
people
crazy. I
came
just
up
learned like
to, like when some certain
okay.
people came up to like New York City, and I was like, oh my gosh, please go away. You're way too close to where I currently am. So I was like, do not be here, please, thank you.
Mhm.
So it's like, yeah. I mean,
I
I'm
don't know,
pretty
I'm
sure
just
on like
because of
the
being
Yik Yak
you probably
page,
mentioned
there's
it.
like a
I
New
just
York Yankee like baseball cap on
oh yeah,
my
yeah, yeah.
persona.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, that's
I
still on,
just
that's still on there. That's crazy. Is it
hmm,
still like? Whew,
I don't know. I don't use Instagram, but
let's see.
yeah, I forgot about that. I just thought you might have been a fan. I just I didn't really know why they did that.
I don't know why they did that. I'm
Yeah,
pretty
no,
sure.
I get why they do it now, but it's just like I just didn't realize you were because like
Yeah,
I just learned
that is
recently one of
yeah
my
that yeah
friends who
it's
was
still pinned up there. It's one of the three pins.
I just
It's
learned recently one of my friends who was a jokingly big alcoholic. He's like super academic, doing well academically, and they're about to graduate. Like they have like a 4.0. They have like nutty academic performance, and I'm just like, I did not realize
yeah. I mean, same thing
because
here.
just like I did
I
not
knew this
strike
one
me as an
person that
extremely
goes
bright.
to a school that goes to Binghamton, which is a
Never
college
heard of
up
it.
in New yeah it's a college up in New York, and
Gotcha.
she's a biomedical biomed student. And I
Oh,
mean,
cool.
she would just party hard, drugs,
Hmm.
alcohol, all the stuff, and then she would still pop out with a 4.0. And I'm
That's
just like,
crazy.
how the hell are you doing that? Like, I'm not doing half the stuff you're doing, and I'm like, I'm over here with like a
I'm like
3.7.
actually focusing on my academics.
Yeah, I'm not popping out with a 4.0. So I guess some people are just like naturally gifted in that end, or maybe they just
Possibly.
know how to
Or they're
lock
just
in.
actually putting in effort and they're just like really good at multitasking like that and making
Exactly.
sure they prioritize everything.
Maybe
I've never been a
maybe they
very
pregame all the exams. Maybe that's what they do. Maybe I should start doing
uh
that.
yeah. I've never really considered myself a high academic achiever. When I was younger, I'm sure everybody was in like, oh, the gifted program and stuff. But I was in that and all of my friends were in the stupid classes or whatever, so I
That's
was
one
just
way to
like,
put
I
it.
don't want to be in the. I mean, I feel like when they're calling, oh, you're gifted. Like, I feel like that's just calling the other one stupid by comparison. But my friends were all in the like non-gifted classes, so it's just like I always wanted to
Uh-huh.
hang out with them. So I would try to perform worse academically. They still kept me in the gifted classes because I mean I was pretty smart for my peers, but it's just like I wasn't. I didn't. I think my disdain for academic performance probably stemmed from there. It's just like, why would I perform better when I could hang out with different people in lower level classes, I guess.
Right, yeah. I was
Now it's just like, I just don't really see a point because, like, if you have all D's or all C's, I mean, and then you have all A's, you're still getting the same degree.
you might
Granted,
get
you're
two
going to be
different
able to,
jobs. Yeah.
true, you might be able to put some fancier things on your resume, but you're not have the same degree.
Yeah, one is you
But at the
might have an
same,
internship lined up or even a job, and the other one might
yeah,
just be opening up a LinkedIn account.
yeah, true. I still need to do that.
Oh my
I
gosh.
don't know. I don't need to get a job during college, which is nice because everything's paid for by the government. But at the same time, I feel like I mean, honestly, with what I'm specifically interested in, I don't really think there's a whole lot in the way of jobs because I'm psychology and sociology major, and I'm interested in like the research side of things right now. So I'm probably gonna see about pursuing some of that. Maybe see if like any of the professors want to add me to their thing because I just talked with one of my advisors and he was telling me about how you can do that with certain teachers or there's like a specific teacher that I'm in the class for next year that I can do that with, which I'm pretty hyped
Mm,
for. I'm hoping it goes well, but
interesting, interesting, interesting.
yeah,
Yeah, no,
it's just a lot to.
I've had my LinkedIn account since freshman year because it was required for one of my
Oh, that
classes.
really?
So
That's perfect.
I've been adding on to it every now and then. I actually need to change my about me
Mm.
because it is so outdated because I most of my achievements here are band related. And I'm just like, no, that's not something I want to be advertising, is the fact that my high school band or me being in
I
like the all
mean,
county band, like an all
you could
state
definitely
ensemble.
word it like, "Oh, I have such great collaboration skills. I really know how to work in a group setting, get a
Yeah.
job done on time,
Yeah, so
and I
this is what
really
my
show
about me
initiative when I
made.
wake up on time for the really early assignments or whatever."
Yeah,
I
so
don't
this is my about. I am currently an undergraduate at the University of South Carolina in pursuit of a bachelor's science and civil engineering degree. I have a
know.
Regents
Okay.
diploma with distinction in math and science from Kingston High School from Kingston, New York. Previously, I have worked as an attendant at sports cones of the 2021 summer jobs. So notable involvements I have been are the 2021 New York State All-State Symphonic Band, New York 2021 All-District Band, NISMA District 13. I also
Mm.
have a leadership experience from my 4 years as a section leader from my high school, along with being a coxswain for my local rowing team for a year. And that's the it of
Okay.
the about me. That was written freshman year, and I have not touched it since. I've touched everything else since. Like I have like added on my experience, added on education, like any project skills, courses, honors, awards, organizations, whatever all these tabs are. But I have not changed my bio in so
Hmm.
long. I probably
Gotcha.
should.
I honestly, I don't even have a resume. I'm gonna be honest, which embarrassing, I know, but it's just like I haven't had a need to make one yet. I'm such a procrastinator. Such a bad procrastinator. I will. It's not good to say the least. How much of a procrastinator I am. I have I'm not even doing a few of my assignments just because of the fact that I still have a fine degree otherwise, or I still have like a fine grade in the class, or because just like I'm avoiding the final and yet I'm still having like I think like a 9 or not 90 like an 80, which is pretty high for not doing a final, which is surprising to me. But I
Yeah,
just
no,
don't.
sometimes like I think there was one class where I had to make like a 70 in order to make an A in the class, and I was just like, wow. I just
Dang,
had to
that's
like
pretty high.
probably like show up. I'll be fine.
Actually, I think I had a class similar because I took like a very entry level asynchronous online course, and it was I didn't turn in the final, which had big red text saying that it was due or that it's worth 30% of my grade, and I didn't turn it in on accident because I
Hmm.
misinterpreted the due date, like an idiot, and I did not look to check because I was just like, oh, this is due later. I can just focus it on it then. Anyway, I didn't turn it in. That's 30% of my grade, right? Apparently not. I emailed the teacher. They're like, "There's nothing we can do. You're doomed. Pretty much. Grades are final. This is embarrassing." And so I'm just like, "Crap, that sucks." But then, like, I'm having a whole panic attack thinking about, "Oh, my GPA is in shambles. I'm gonna have to retake this super easy class next semester. It's gonna be terrible." And then I get the grade back, and I pass the class with an A somehow, like 100.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I think they just didn't care. I guess that's my only excuse. I just don't know.
Gifted.
Truly, I'm just it just comes so easily to me.
Yeah, of
Like
course,
you
of course, of
peons could
course.
never understand just not trying. Have you tried that? It's a really good strategy.
Yeah, just the F it we ball type of mentality.
Yeah, pretty
Yeah, no,
much.
I tried that in a couple exams. I have about 50-50 success rate.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I'm still doing pretty well in exams too, which is surprising because there's quite a few that I'll go into and I'm just like, there's no way I'm passing it. And then I just still get a decent grade on it. Honestly, just getting a 70 is all I really care about because if you can get that on your exam, then your grade's not going to tank that much, which is the best part.
For
Because like
me,
it'll still tank
yeah.
a bit, especially if it's very high. But it's just like you can easily class with a high B if you have at least a C or on the test or on the exam.
Yeah, I grew up a very different household where passing was a foregone thought because that was
It's
kind of
A's
just
only.
it was not necessarily A's only, but just like achieve academic excellence.
Hmm.
And whatever that exactly meant. It was like just work hard, do your best type
Yeah.
deal. So for
I mean,
me,
it's different.
like worrying about like making a 70 in a class has never really been a worry of mine. I go into
Mm.
every class knowing I'm gonna pass it. I know it's a very like arrogant thought, but I basically go into the
No, I
class
get
and I know
that.
it's like, oh, okay, you're attempting these credits, just make sure you don't fail the class or else you're gonna have to retake it again. I was like, well, I'm very linear fellow, and I go in there
Hmm.
and it's like, okay, basically just give me my credits already, because I know I'm gonna
Yeah.
pass. So my mentality is a step further, and that's like actually doing well in the class, making A's. If it's the A's unreasonable, then make the B plus, and then if
Yeah.
all else is lost, strive for the B.
I feel like I just only really care as long if I'm failing, then I'll like actually try. I feel like saying try is just so arrogant, but that's just like the best way I can describe it. Because just like if I'm passing the class and I'm getting the credit, then I don't really care that much. But then if I notice, oh, I'm failing, I actually need to do assignments, like get extra credit, all that jazz, then I'll actually like care. But I feel like that's also just everyone. That's not really a unique thought.
Yeah. So I mean, whenever I do any of my calculations, it's all my calculations are in the case where I make the 90, which is the lowest grade you need in order to get an A in
Hmm.
like all these classes. And
I
I so I
usually
not
make them all with like a B.
yeah, I never really like when I do my calculations, I don't put in like, oh, 70, which is like a C, um in order to say like, oh, what do I need in order to pass this class? So like it's like, oh yeah, I know I'm passing this class regardless of whatever anybody
Hmm.
says. Um but yeah, no, it's definitely interesting because I'm coming on, this is my second to last year as an undergrad. And it's weird, coming to a close on everything, all the stuff that I've kind of learned over the years. And this is what University 101 has kind of helped me because I never took the class. I never took U 101. And here I am
Oh, really?
being entrusted to help co-lead an entire section of
Hmm.
University 101. And I think one of the
That's
big
not crazy.
things is
Well, not really
that
that crazy, but just interesting crazy. So.
yeah, I think one of the big things is that it's not only like helping me help them grow, but
Hmm.
also allowing me to kind of step back and understand that I was once these kids. Pretty much,
Hmm.
I can see myself in them, and like understanding the amount of knowledge I have now about this university and all it has to offer. And I came in here knowing absolutely nothing. So it was kind of just like, oh, maybe you actually did, some of the stuff was kind of worth your time, and you actually have made a lot of growth, even though you can't really quantify that. Like, you can't really quantify knowledge about the university as growth,
Hmm.
because it's not something
Well,
numerical, it's more something just like in your head. I mean, you
I
can give
feel like
like
it's
exam grades, but like,
yeah. I
you
feel like
can't
with
really
University
measure it.
101, it was less about memory, or not. It was less about understanding the college and more just like the applications that college gives you, or not applications. They're not applications in like the sense of like apps type thing, because there's like a lot of different things. There's a lot of different access, or I'm trying to remember there's a lot of different applications, for lack of a better word, that you get access to that really show you. Like, for example, I was talking with my academic advisor, and he asked me, or yeah, he asked me, "Oh, do you know how to use this? It'll show you like your courses that you need to take for your degree and your GPA." I'm like, I have no idea what this is. This is the first time I'm hearing of it, and it's a really useful utility to have. And I think it's called DegreeWorks. I think
I
I don't
love
know,
degree
but
works.
I just learned about it and it's great. I love it.
Oh yeah, no, it's wonderful.
But it's just like University 101. I'm pretty sure would have taught me that. Granted, I still passed University 101, but it's just I was had a unique predicament uh, in my situation, which is why I didn't really learn all that much
Hmm.
from it, unfortunately.
Bro got mono, so he couldn't go to class.
No, I got severely crippled.
Same thing. Same thing.
uh, yeah, I
No,
got to
but
go actually.
I did teach them about degree works and how to use them.
It's so good.
Because
Love that
before
stuff.
registration started, My co-instructor wanted me to facilitate registration and understanding what a major map is, the classes, what prereqs are, how to make sure you're graduating on time, and all the various different resources the university has to offer. Schedule planning,
Hmm.
which is something that is much different this year, that
Oh yeah.
they don't realize how much easier schedule planning was last year. And
Was it different? I don't know.
it is different for this
Last
year.
2 years
It
have
is
been or it's been different
because
than
it
this
used
year
to
than
do,
last year.
yeah, it used to, you remember shopping cart?
Oh yeah, I think
They
so.
got rid of shopping cart.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I
So
literally already
RIP
applied for
schedule
mine.
planning. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
so they replaced it, but I wasn't a big fan of their replacement, so I just used Corsical,
Mm-hmm.
and I liked that a lot more. But so I had to teach them how to use that since it was a lot different than what I was used to. So I was able to make sure that they were all set and ready to be able to register for classes the second their time ticket opens up. So
Mm-hmm.
I made sure that they were all ready for that. But like there's like some other skills like they're also all of them are looking for housing for next year because
Oh yeah,
they're now
because
realizing that they
number
were
one in
lied.
first year experience is
Yeah, do
not
not ask
indicative of the
about the
rest of
second
the
year.
experience.
Do
Yeah,
not ask about the second year experience. Do
it's
not.
so bad. I love making that joke. We're number one in first year experience, guys. Just don't ask about everything else.
Nate, oh my gosh, my last year,
Hmm.
terrible. Terrible. I will tell everybody that sophomore year was probably one of my worst years that I've had uh as a student in college. I mean, I've only been here
Yeah,
for 3 years, so it's so I
I've
don't
been
really
here
have
for
much to go
less
for.
though.
Yeah, but like my mom joked around with me and she's like, "Don't you have the number one first year experience?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like,
That's not indicative of
it,
everything else.
oh, and because I mean, I can attest to that. I loved my freshman year. I loved every
Yeah,
second of
it
it.
was pretty good.
It
I
was a
mean, I wasn't here
really
for
great
half of it, but it was still pretty good.
it was a really great first year. So whenever they boast about, number one first year experience, I'm like, yeah,
That's
I was
about it
so
though.
I was like, yep, that's so true. So I was like, oh, I was so happy going into my second year, and the second year was like, just start playing the Papers, Please music. Bam, bam,
Mm,
bam, 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 bam. And that's how every day started feeling. I was like, okay.
yeah,
And the seasonal depression went in, girlfriend broke up with me. I was
I'm
alone in
sorry
my
to hear that.
dorm all the time.
I can't
Classes
even
got
start
really
talking about that.
hard.
Yeah,
Uh, so it's just
but
like,
they pick up the pace, man.
yeah, it was like boom, 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 whammy, 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 whammy. So I joked around with my mom about how like, there's a reason why they don't say they're the best second year experience or third, fourth year experience, why they only boast about the first year. Because the
Hmm.
second year sucks so
Everything else sucks
much.
in comparison.
Because it's like how can you like sports didn't even help me out. Like the only sports that actually helped me out was basketball. That was
Oh
because
yeah,
our men's team
dude,
was
our
actually pretty
basketball went
good,
crazy. Ooh.
and women's basketball actually won the championship that year. So I was like, dang. Um, and I was like, so excited for Gamecock football. Then
Mm.
Gamecock football, we yeah no, it
Yeah,
was terrible
football's
my
kind of
second
mid.
year. It was kind of terrible. Football's back. We're so back. Football's back. Football's back. I'm happy now. I'm happy
Is
now.
it? Are we doing well? I'm pretty sure we're
Yes,
doing like
we're
okay.
doing very well right now. We're
Oh,
not
are we?
doing
No
as
way.
well as we should, but we're still doing very, very, very well. Um,
Hmm. That's good to hear.
yeah, no. But yeah, so it's just like second year just sucks. Just everything about it. I don't even know if it's even like just college or is that just like life in general? Because I feel like most of the stuff that I complain about my
I
second
feel like
year
it
is
could just
kind of
be
just
life
like
in
life in
general.
general. It just happened to be my second semester. Sorry, my
Yeah,
second year in college.
I think it honestly might just be life in general because there's a lot of things in life where it's just like when you first start doing something, it's gonna be great, but then after you get used to it, it sucks. Like with my first job, I definitely feel like that was the case. Granted, that could just been me being a naive dumbass, but going into my first job, I was enjoying the place, uh, and then after I got out, it was just kind of
I mean,
I
honestly,
realized how not great it was.
now that I think about it, I mean, my third year isn't that bad.
It's going well.
It's going pretty well. I mean, I've taken up the U101 position. I've taken up my job as a student success with the Student Success Center, and I
Mm-hmm.
mean, yes, it is tedious. Yes, it is hard work, but I honestly love and enjoy what I do with these two organizations, and it solidified the fact that I wanted to pursue something in education. So I
Mm-hmm.
attached an education minor to my degree.
Nice, man.
Uh, so now that I've like actually put myself into these teaching roles, this is actually something I do want to kind of
Pursue.
yeah, pursue. First and foremost, do the job, the actual thing that I'm getting my major for. I'm not an education major, so I'm not gonna go right out of the gate just teaching. I'm gonna work, but
Mm-hmm.
probably like once I get closer to retirement, maybe around like that 50, 55 range, transfer over to teaching, and then just like
Yeah,
do
that
that
makes
until I
sense.
just don't want to do anymore. Like once you have all that like real life experience, and then probably maybe I don't know, go back to high school, go back to um, go back to college, maybe even get a master's in education, like when I'm farther down the line, and
Mm-hmm.
just teach. I feel like that'd be a nice way, because like there was something in me back in like high school that maybe oddly want to be a janitor after I retired.
Interesting choice, but I guess I can understand.
Just something just like low key, and I don't feel like there's like a lot of stakes involved with it. And it's just like
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about money. I just have to worry about just keeping myself busy.
Well, yeah. I mean, I don't know. Once you get, I think honestly for us, the hardest part about getting the, not even the job so much, but it's just like getting settled. We're gonna have to do a lot before we can get a job where we don't have to worry about money, I feel. Or where
And
money's
why
not
do you
gonna
think
be
I'm
as much
investing
of
in
an
the
issue.
Roth IRA? Well,
Yeah, fair.
I do need to get like myself an actual like investment broker account, but
Ooh.
again, not financially well enough to be able to be making choices like that. I am trying to see if I can get like a paid summer internship that will pay me a decent amount and give me like full-time work
Hmm.
over the summer, so I can actually start attempting to max out my Roth IRA and set aside some more money so I can pay off rent for the next year until things happen again.
How is your rent, by the way, if you don't mind me asking?
I mean it's good. We're going about like 750, 800
For three bed?
for a three bed, yeah, per
Nice.
person.
I might. Yeah, I assumed as much. I'm paying like currently it's like 850 because I got in so late, but next year it's gonna be about 650. And I'm thinking about moving to either a three or two bed because just like I mean my roommates aren't terrible. It's just like I don't really feel like I cohesively meld with them, for lack of a better word. I'm kind of interested in getting getting either new roommates or just a new location, honestly,
Relatable.
because my current apartment place is just so far from campus. I just feel so disconnected,
Yeah,
or not disconnected. What's the better word? No, not ostracized.
just disconnected,
I said disconnected. Disassociated. That is the word I was looking for.
disassociated. All right.
Yeah. I don't know. It just feels like pretty far away and just not very involved, which probably is from my own issues. But it's just
Yeah, I mean,
uh,
I also got like a similar thing going on here, but I'm too stubborn. I hate moving out. I hate moving in.
mhm.
I'm just gonna hunker down here until life decides to
It's
have other
valid.
plans. Uh, but yeah, no, it's 1200, sorry, 2100 in total. And then
For
there's
all
your
four,
fixed
yeah.
costs, such as like um, water and like a service, like an amenity fee, and then
Hmm.
your internet fee, and then the energy bill we split up. and that's
Yeah,
about like 50, $60 on top of it. So it comes around to be like 750. Um,
mine is low key
set yes,
expensive, and it's
yeah, like
supposed to be
750, 800 per person.
individual, but it's just kind of a lot. I don't know. I don't feel like I use that much stuff, but at the same time, I know I'm on my computer a lot, which uses a lot of electricity. So I don't know.
Yeah, that
It's just
definitely will
it's
do it.
also a bit expensive. I think it's like 50 to 150. I'm not sure.
It was actually terrible. I walked into my apartment after I was done with everything, and I walked into my
Hmm.
room. My room's on like the second floor. I usually close my door. I forgot to turn off the lights when I left this morning.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
a lot of
oh, is
money.
right. And I'm just like, you gotta be joking me. No shot, I forgot to turn off the lights. 'Cause I like to always have like, I'm a white noise type of guy. So I got a floor fan in my room that I like to keep running. I have it off right now because when I turn it on, it messes with the mic because you hear the wind
Mm.
in the background. Like if I were to turn it on right now, you'll hear what I mean. Like you're gonna like hear it in the background whenever I'm doing stuff. So
Hmm.
um so I keep it off for this, but I like to keep that on whenever I'm working because it provides that nice little ambience in the background. Um, and then I also keep it on whenever I'm sleeping because it keeps the room cold. Plus, I also can't sleep with that noise. So
Yeah, that's fair. My roommates keep the apartment pretty cold, so I don't
nice.
really have to worry
I
about that.
hate roommates who keep the place hot.
I can't live with those types of people. Absolutely not. Granted,
How
I
do
feel
those
like they
people
keep
live?
it a bit too cold personally, but I mean, I'd rather have it too cold than too hot because I do
I
prefer the
mean, what
cold
what would you say
personally.
would be considered to be too cold to have a room?
Um, well, currently they have the place at 70 or 69, which isn't that bad, but
Nice.
it feels a lot colder. Probably just with the cold weather as well, but it's just
Actually, it
it's
should
just
actually your apartment actually should feel hotter at 70 because the high was like
no, I mean like
60
it
today.
feels colder than 70 because of the outside
Oh,
temperature.
because of the outside, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That actually is like a thing I have to pay attention. I think I have to bump
It's been
mine
getting pretty
down
cold
about a
outside
couple of
now.
degrees.
Well,
Yeah, I think I had to bump mine down to 68 now that's actually getting colder for energy savings. So it doesn't work as hard to heat the place. Um, but yeah, I usually like to keep the place at like 70-ish, and then during
mm-hmm.
the summer bump it up to like 75.
Well, that's fair.
Because that keeps the place nice and cool, but it's not like too cold. Like if like you start getting
Yeah,
cold, like if you set the thing at like 65, like that is cold.
yeah,
Even though like you could walk outside at 75 and you'll be completely fine. 75 indoors is a completely different thing.
yeah. You're not wrong.
Like I walked out this morning and was like, honestly, today's weather was honestly kind of beautiful.
That
It
was
it
pretty
was it
nice.
was
Yeah,
it was like perfect sweater weather.
mm,
Perfect sweater weather.
yeah. Honestly, it's been a lot nicer as of recent.
Ever
Oof.
since that
We-
like storm system came out, it's just the
mm,
birds started chirping again.
yeah, it's been nice. We've gotten nice weather. You finally can start wearing some other stuff because like I love accessorizing, but most of my accessories come in the aspect of hotter clothing.
Hmm.
Like I don't really have a whole lot of other options. So
Yeah. I bought like three new pairs of khaki cargo pants
mm,
and sorry, cargo shorts, and now I can't wear them anymore because it's too cold. It's too cold to wear shorts out in public. So
yeah,
I started using my like actual pants, and I'm realizing they're not fitting me anymore because I'm now
ooh, that's unfortunate.
I'm a 32-32, and the pants are 30-32s. So,
Mm.
very awkward situation. So I'm like, okay, looks like I'm gonna have to purchase new pants now in order to accommodate
I've
myself. But
I very rarely buy new clothes. I've been wearing like the same pairs of pants since like middle school. They somehow still fit, which is wild to me. But it's just like I just don't buy other clothes, which is just Not great, but why? I just do it anyways.
Yeah.
Um,
Um, I gotta figure out because I'm gonna start like donating stuff because there's just a lot of clothes that I just don't wear anymore, either because
mhm.
they're old or just not really my style anymore. I've kind of
That's
like
fair.
moved on and replaced them with certain things. Like my khaki pants, I kind of replaced because those used to be like my dress pants as well. But now I
Mhm.
actually have formal dress pants because I picked up the job and I wanted to make myself look presentable.
It's
So I
valid.
purchased four pairs of not pairs, four things of dress pants with varying colors. So those are really nice. Um, but like today, I got like black khaki pants right on right now because
How are they
that's
black and khaki? Elaborate.
I think
Like
khaki's
material
like
khaki?
material khaki.
Because it's a color and a material, which is
Yeah,
wild.
yeah. So black khakis, black as the color, khaki as the material.
Gotcha.
So I got black khakis, and I ended up wearing like
Okay.
cause I had a basketball game today, and we have a new uniform. It used to be jeans, like blue jeans, but now we're
Hmm.
going to black pants. So I got my Carolina band polo underneath, and then I also have my blood donation sweater on top of it. And so the collar of my band polo sticks out. It's a really nice outfit. I got a lot of compliments today. I was like, I didn't think I really looked that good, but maybe people start gassing me up. Maybe I do feel kind of good in this
I
outfit.
don't know. I get gassed up sometimes as well, and then oof, that's so nice.
And it's guys too. Yeah, girls,
Hmm.
they tell you like, "Hey, look, you look good," and you're like, "Oh, thanks." But if like guys tell you look
Yeah,
good, that's something. That's
that
something
you
your
know
guys
it's a
are telling you.
compliment.
Yeah, that's that.
Automatically, yeah.
And the guy who told me I look really good was like a guy who always comes in with like great fit. And I'm just like, and he was like, "Hey, you look good." And I was like, "Thanks, appreciate it." But, oh, but like, I was thinking about
Hmm.
like the second year experience and how this third year. I mean, there's been a lot of things that have happened in my third year here. A lot of stuff that
Yeah.
haven't been great. That kind of you could feel like are setbacks. But like, I don't know what kind of clicked in my head probably like 4 or 5 days ago. But like, I just
Mhm.
started feeling like happier.
Yeah,
Like,
that was wild to me. Weirdly enough, this is gonna sound like it's obvious, but way back when I broke up with my ex, I just was weirdly, or when I we had finalized, because it was kind of weird and very non conclusional, but we eventually broke up, and then I just had like a really good day afterwards. I was just weirdly filled with childlike glee, which is weird because we like weren't together long enough for it to have been her fault or anything, but it's just like I was just weirdly happy for a day. And I don't know. It might have just. I'm not really sure why. Because like on one hand, it's like, oh, it's because you were with her and she was bad, but like we weren't together long enough for anything to have been major, you know?
yeah, no, it's a weird and it almost feels like it's not like imposter syndrome verbatim,
Hmm.
but it kind of feels like I shouldn't be happy, but
Yeah,
yet I am. Like I feel like I should be, still sad, still down in dumps,
yeah.
still, whatever I need to do in order to get better. But like I just can't help but feel strangely optimistic about life.
That might have been why. Yeah, because like,
And
because
it's
I think one thing. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, 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 you go.
I think one thing I realized with my ex, it was so early in the year that I was like, I just had like a weird sense of confidence, like, oh, I was able to get a girlfriend this quick. I could probably get another one. So like, yeah, I don't know. It might have been a weird sense of hope, I guess.
But like, there's nothing. Like, I haven't really gained any new friends.
Mm.
I'm still doing the same old thing I always have been doing. So it's
I,
like, why am I now suddenly happy?
mm,
And like, I don't feel like I'm just wasting my days anymore. It feels like I'm actually doing something productive, whether it be socially. And I don't know. It's weird because I know I went through that episode where I was just like, man, like everything's just not
the worst.
okay.
Yeah.
It's like just the worst thing that ever happened to me. I feel like I haven't learned, jack shit from the last time I felt like this. And uh and and I was just like I felt like I was like just at like an all-time low of
Mm,
where I was at. And I have no clue. I just woke up one day, the sun was shining, and I walked out, listened to some music with a blue sky, and it was just like, you know, maybe everything ain't so bad after all. You know,
yeah.
like the Miles Morales is like, nah, I'm gonna do my own thing. type type shit right
Yeah.
there. And I was just
I get
like,
that.
huh. It's weird. And again, I still feel like I shouldn't be feeling happy. But at the exact same time, it's like I can't ignore the fact that I do
That
feel
I
just
am
like
feeling happy. Yeah.
that I am feeling happy, even though I feel like I shouldn't be feeling happy considering everything that happened. It's
It
just
might
like,
just be like mm, I'm not sure how to properly describe these things, but
and then here I don't go again, not elaborating on considering the things that have happened, not elaborating
yeah,
on that.
no,
I was like,
it's not that bad in this. I don't know.
in this context, yeah, no, it's not that bad.
Because it's like you're not saying that you're not like trying to blame her for something right now. You're just saying that like you were felt strangely happy afterwards. It's not like you were talking. That was the whole. It was a different topic, so it's not an issue. Is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it's related to the topic, but it's not like
The
it's like
main part of it.
directly like segue from that topic. It's just like a comment on life in general,
Mm.
like post after doing the last episode,
Post situation
post
clarity, I guess.
situation, and the debrief and everything, the drawback that not drawback, the what's the word I'm looking for? Pushback.
Mm.
I got, dude. Do you know what's crazy? Do you know what's
What's up?
crazy about that episode?
Mm.
That episode has 17 plays from like
Comparatively,
um well, it's like what is it?
is that
It's
like
not my
higher
it's
on the
not my
list
best
usually?
one. It's not my
That's
best
pretty
one.
high for how recent it is.
Let's see. Yeah, it's pretty good for like a
I mean,
recent one. Yeah, it's
controversy.
let's see, 18 plays. And the
It's
analytics,
probably
it's
due
just
to.
like
It's probably just due to the fact that it was a controversial topic. I guess.
yeah, but it's just like, and there was like at one point there were like 8 unique viewers,
Oh,
most of which
crazy.
were girls. Uh, I wonder why, but
It's almost
it
like you
was
were
just
talking
like
about them or something.
it was crazy. I was just like, huh, okay. I also ended up gaining a follower.
Oh, nice.
Apparently, I ended up gaining a follower. I don't know when that happened, but that happened. It
Well,
happened on November 17th. I went from six followers to 7 followers. There are 7 people who follow my my podcast. That's crazy. That's crazy. Um, but yeah, no. I thought about the quote, um, like, when life gives you lemons, you make lemonade. Like I feel like
mm,
life gave me like a bunch of lemons. I just decided to open up like a lemonade stand. I didn't just
I
like
don't know
make
about
lemonade.
that.
I feel like it's weird because it's almost like open, like because certain doors have closed, certain other ones have just opened that I just didn't really
I get it.
realize were there. So here I am, out of one thing and then I go into another thing, it's kind of like, oh, you know, maybe everything isn't so bad after all. And then plus also like the amount of people who were concerned about me, who wanted to reach out, who wanted to, um, you know, see if they can help me out in any way, shape, or form was also
Mm.
kind of reassuring. I think was also that was also a really big thing. There was like, hey, you know, you're not alone and everything, and there are people who do have your best interests in mind and do want to see you succeed. And just having those people reach out to me, and people who I thought would not reach out to me, reached out to me. So it's kind of like you are loved, even though you may not feel like you are. And like people do want to see you be, you know, be a better person, which I think
That's
is
good.
very admirable that, and you know, maybe give myself a pat on the back for getting such good friends to
Mm, yeah,
surrounding myself with
be
such
there for
decent
you.
people, yeah, who are just there for me, even if like, you know, unconditional love, I guess would be one thing to put it. Being like, yeah, you messed up about certain things, and being open and honest about it, and being like, yeah, but you still want to be a better person. I'd be like, yeah, of course I want to be a better person. And it's like, yeah, let's work on that. And then they'll be like a little check in, or like they'll help me
Mm.
out with whatever it is. And it's just like, oh, okay. And then hopefully I do honor their side of the not the argument, but like their side of the exchange. Be like, hey, I
Situation.
helped you out. Yeah, I helped you out emotionally, and now you need to keep up your end of the bargain. You need to be, you know, you need to be better. And I'm like, yes, sir, I'll do that. Uh, but it's just it's weird. I'm not sure if I'm vibing with it, but it's weird. It's a weird feeling. It's a weird feeling.
I feel like it's still a healthy one and a good one.
Oh, and a totally off because this person just snapped me, and a totally just off branch remark. One of my friends that I met over during COVID,
Mm.
I'm pretty sure her boyfriend just blatantly dumped her and then just didn't elaborate on
Oh.
anything. And told her that she was gonna be just like they were going being on break because he was busy with life and everything.
Oh, that's
And then
concerning.
and then he ended up like blocking her on everything. And this is
Yeah.
like a 1 2 year relationship at this point.
Oh
So
my. Oh my gosh.
yeah, I know. So I follow both of them on Snapchat, and
Wait, do I know them?
the no you don't.
Okay.
They don't even go to the school. They're not even in this state.
Gotcha.
Uh, so and it's just um I follow both of them on Snapchat, and the guy he's been hooking out with a new girl. I'm just like,
Oh, that's
ooh,
rough.
yeah. And so she's she's taking it okay. She's still very depressed.
I mean, as she
As you
should
might
be, but
expect, as you might
not
expect.
as
She
she
doesn't.
should be,
I
but
don't think she knows about any of that actually. I've neglected to tell her any of
knows
that
about the fact
because
that he's with a
of
new
that's
girl right
just
now.
yeah with the new girl. I don't know if she knows about that. But I think she's in the process of like moving on. She's now like celebrating the Friendsgiving, and she posted on her
That's
story,
good.
and there are like so many red Solo cups, and I'm like, oh boy.
That
And
sounds like a
this is a
good
person who doesn't
time.
really drink,
Oh
and she's
dang.
like drunk snapped me like a couple times. She's like, oh, I am so drunk right now, and I'm like, oh God.
I hope she's
Like
okay.
Jared and having conversations with drunk girls are just two things that do not mix very well.
At least you're self-aware.
Oh, I am like the most I feel so incredibly uncomfortable when that happens. And it's like but like there's just like a little like person over my shoulder to be like, "Hey, you know, how crazy can this get?" Right? How
Uh,
crazy not in like
yeah.
a not not in that way, not in that way.
No, I get that. I get that.
But it's kind of just like
As someone who's a designated driver for a lot of people, it can sometimes get
it
crazy.
can
It's
get
usually
crazy.
not that bad.
It's really funny to see that kind of happen. You're just like kind of just the sober
Yeah,
like
it's really funny when
you're
they
at the
try to
guy at the
convince you that
cookout
they're like, yeah,
who just kind of just stands in the corner. That's kind of what you do. It's kind of just like,
Well, actually, I
ha,
get food as well because cookout slaps. And usually, I haven't eaten in a while.
like when we went to that party, um, the Diddy party, for lack of a better
Oh
descriptor.
yeah. Did we
Yeah,
go to one together?
I just
Yeah.
kind of just sat there at like the bar stools while everyone else was like
Yeah,
drinking
pretty
and
much.
shit. And I was just kind of just like I was just there. I mean, so I treat this the exact same thing, exact same way, but like
Mm.
they be sharing too much shit, and it's like I'd be so uncomfortable. I didn't really realize how uncomfortable, well, having conversations with drunk people were until my
Yeah, it's
ex
kind of like
drunk.
talking to a toddler.
It is, and it's just like when my
Because it's just
ex
like
went out
they
for the
think that
first
they
time.
know everything, and then they'll just like they'll just like say words honestly without thinking, and it's kind of interesting to watch, but at the same time, it's just kind of stupid.
Like when my ex went out for the first time in college, she snapped me and she was, outpouring of love, whatever it is.
Hmm.
And it was just like she was not sober, and so she would be loud. She would send me video snaps, and I'm just like, oh boy. And then like I started getting like pissed off because I couldn't have like an actual conversation with her, and she
Without her
just kept
being
on like
drunk.
without her being drunk. Uh, this is all on the same night, by the way. And she
Oh
started like
dang.
video snapping, like apologizing and everything. It's like, oh man, I'm so sorry. It's like, please don't be mad at me. And I'm just like, yeah, me and drunk snaps do not mix right. But guys are completely fine. Like guys,
Yeah.
I know when a guy's been, a couple beers down, I'm just able to have like a good full-fledged conversation with this guy. But girls, they are a they're an interesting bunch when they're
I
drunk,
guess
and it's just like,
I can't say I don't know. I haven't interacted with too many drunk male individuals for reference, but
no, I have. They're fun,
hmm.
very fun individuals, but just like, I don't know. It's very
Usually just
uncomfortable. It's
yeah,
very uncomfortable being on like the receiving end of like drunk snaps from a girl, because it's kind of like you really have no clue what they're gonna say next.
yeah. I get that.
Sometimes I'll just be like, hey, don't text me because this usually doesn't end well. Or it's like sometimes I'll just nag along and be like, how funny can this get?
Hmm.
It's about like a 50-50 whether I do that or not. But it's crazy. It's crazy what these people be doing.
Yeah,
All
it can
because a
be.
little alcohol entered their system.
I think we should wrap up soon. It has been going on for a little over an hour.
Yeah, wow. Yeah. Woo, 114, yeah. We are very over. All
We are
right.
quiet.
Yeah, I mean this is probably one of the shorter this is actually the shortest uh like non-solo podcast. So,
Oh, gotcha.
yeah, so yeah, wonderful. So thank you all for listening. If you are listening to this or watching this on YouTube, don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment down below what your favorite part of the episode was. Yes, I bet everybody on YouTube watches this to the very end. And I'm not just saying this for, shits and giggles. If you're listening to
True.
this like a normal person on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, favorite, subscribe. I don't know if there's like a subscribe. I think a follow. You can do that. You can
There definitely
follow.
is a feature to
You
do
can
so.
follow, download episodes. I don't know, maybe send it to a friend. Hopefully they like the episode. I don't know, I like the episode. What about you? Did you like the episode, Nate?
I don't know. I haven't listened to the episode yet.
Oh, Nate doesn't know if they liked the episode that they were just a part of, and they contributed wonderfully in conversations. So yeah. So I think this will conclude it. So if I don't see y'all again, good morning, good evening, and good night. I'll see y'all later.